going on, Strategic Minds? Welcome to episode 5 of the Strategic Mind Show. I am the host with you in mind, Kimberly A. Ferguson, and we have done it again. We have pulled together 3 powerful resources who are sure to inspire, empower, and educate you, giving you tools you can use today to become more effective and productive. My first guest is Pervis Taylor III. He is an award-winning celebrity life and identity coach, best-selling author, speaker, mentor, and contributor to various publications. A graduate of the University of Miami, he's had an extensive background in entertainment, but found his passion in encouraging people. And you'll see that passion in this next interview. Listen, I had a great time talking to Pervis, so hold on tight. Pervis Taylor III is in the building, and I am telling you, this interview is inspiring. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Minds. Today, I am in NYC with Pervis Taylor III. He is a life coach, a celebrity life coach.
Yes.
He's an author, an actor. Yes. He has so many things going on. And I wanted to talk to you today because there are just so many great things about your backstory and then the lessons. We've kind of talked about some lessons that you've learned. And I wanted to share that with our audience. So if you could kind of rewind and tell us a little bit about Pervis Taylor III.
Well, first, thank you for having me on the show. I'm truly honored to be here. Wow, where do I begin? Well, I'm originally from Lancaster, Texas, which is a small town outside of Dallas. And I would say my childhood was quite interesting because I endured bullying almost on a daily basis, and I was abused. And, I had a father who had a great father, but he had a drug issue. So my childhood was kind of interesting. That's the best way to say it. Was interesting. And I remember one day I was in the 10th grade and this young lady, I'll never forget her name, Nikita Span, she was like, here, you need to listen to this. So she gave me this CD and it ended up being My Life by Mary J. Blige. And what was so crazy about that album and that experience was that I had never felt a connection to an art form before until that moment. And I remember listening to the album, and although she wasn't necessarily talking about some of the things that I was personally going through, emotionally, we were on the same plane. And I said to myself, I said, I want to make something or create something or be somebody who can connect with people the way that this album connected with me. And from there, I went on an interesting journey. I went to college. I went to University of Miami. I got my business degree and all that good stuff. But I was still dealing with a lot of pain because I never faced or unpacked all the things that I had been through. And I'm 24. Fast forward, I'm 24 years old, and I'm working and interning at Def Jam Recordings. I just got signed to Wilhelmina Models and as an actor and model. And my dad calls me one day and is like, son, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm about to go to some party because I was, wanting to be famous. And he said, listen, you're going to write books. You're going to help people become whole. You're going to help young men become men. You're going to do amazing things. And at the time I was like, Daddy, what are you talking about? And little did I know that would be like one of the last times I actually got to speak to him. And so from there I went through, like this lull, like this depression. And that depression literally brought me to the place that I am now because I've always been, even in high school, even in junior high, even in elementary, I was always the person who people came to for advice. And so that was the thing that kind of brought me catharsis, was to create inspiration during that dark time of my life. And that led to books, and it led to me, doing great things. And so
thank you for sharing that. And it's really interesting that you would say that and talk about pain, because what I'm finding is that pain has been a universal theme with a number of my guests. So tell me a little bit more about that. How do you push past the pain? How do you get through that?
Well, it's interesting. I think that we don't talk about pain enough. I think we, especially in terms of like success and those types of things, I think that that's something that's often overlooked. But I always say, without pain, there's no power.
Right.
Like for me, I had to face the fact that I was in pain. I had to sit in it. And I think a lot of times we want to avoid emotions and avoid feeling certain things. But I went the opposite. I was like, let me sit in this and feel it. I remember there'd be times where I would literally be laying prostrate on the floor in my apartment, just crying out to God, just wanting help. But I needed those moments to know the depth of despair so I can notice it in other people. You see what I'm saying? Like, nothing is wasted in our lives. And so, the pain brought me to the place that I am now. Okay. So I mean, if you're endeavoring to be successful, more often than not, you're going to experience a lot more pain. You're going to experience the joys of success. Wow. And I just think that that's something that you just have to have that mindset going forward. In order to be used, you have to be broken, in a sense. And that doesn't feel good at the time, but but if you can endure it and stay in it, nothing's wasted.
And this is, again, good stuff, because we're talking about the power, the connection between power and pain.
Yes.
And many times we separate that, right?
Right.
Because the pain makes us feel powerless.
Right.
So I love the way that you put that. And also the piece about brokenness.
Yes.
I want more. So give me more.
Wow. I mean, like I said, I remember during that time, I would just literally be just crying my eyes out, but yet I'm tweeting inspirational messages, or I'm posting, or I'm even speaking, because by this point, I published my first book, Pervis Principles, Volume 1, and I remember I would, be speaking to students, and I would just, on the inside, I was just like, yo, I'm so broken, but yet I'm giving encouragement. And what was crazy is that the more broken I felt, the more impact it was having on the people that I was speaking to or either working with. It was really crazy. But it's a pain. There's two types of pain in life. Pain of discipline and pain of regret. Okay. And the pain of discipline is what I was going through. I was being formed into something. Pain of regret is like, I shouldn't have stolen that Snickers. You know what I mean? And now I got caught, and now I'm embarrassed because I stole a Snickers. But yeah, but it was such a, in it, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. But when you're looking back at it, you're like, I'm so glad that happened.
Absolutely. I'm
so glad that happened, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't know the depth of that.
And you talk about your book.
Yes.
You talk about Pervis Principles, volume 1, but there's a volume 2.
There's a volume 2. Yes.
And there's another book.
Yes, Single Man, Married Man, a relationship book that I co-authored with 7 other brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to rewind. I want to go back to Pervis Principles, volume 1.
Yes.
Tell me about the book. Tell us about the book.
Well, the books are mini books, kind of like, have you ever seen like the Daily Word, like those type of things? Like, it's like a mini book of inspiration. So like day 1, it's a life principle, and I kind of expound on it. That's what it was. And they actually started out as tweets, and it was crazy. Like, remember I said earlier, my father kind of prophesied to me that I'd be writing books. And I remember one day I sent out a tweet, and I think the tweet was something about never be wed to an outcome. Okay. It was something like that. Never be wed to an outcome, because you can miss the blessing, because we expect the blessing to look one way. Like this. But you know what I mean? You're limiting God. You're putting restraints on the blessing on God, right? I'm tweeting that. Yeah. And so I remember somebody who I interned for at Def Jam. Okay. I remember she saw me, and she was like, that tweet you sent out, it really, really blessed me. And I remember I was telling a friend about it, and he was like, you should write a book of your tweets. And I hadn't thought about what my dad had said to me. So that was like maybe a 6-year gap. And as soon as he said it to me, it was like, I remember that conversation with my dad. And then it was like, I knew what the book, like I had the vision of what it's supposed to look like and everything. It was really crazy. Okay. And yeah, so I self-published, and they're like really, and it ended up being like an international selling book, like best-selling book. So yeah. You better get it. Yeah. Yeah. You self-published.
I did self-publish. So some tips, some advice for those out there that are looking to get that first book out, but they're not quite ready for, the next level. They want to start with the self-publishing. Tell us.
Well, I will say this. Make sure you get an editor. Okay. That is the most important thing. And make sure you format formatting is everything.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two things I would say. Get you an excellent editor and get a formatter.
Okay.
And it depends. There's so many services that you can self-publish to. I personally prefer where you kind of do all the work yourself because you can have all your inventory as opposed to other platforms where you have to pay to buy your books. And I just think that that's just crazy. Like it's your work. You shouldn't have to, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, those are the two things that I would say. Editor and formatting.
Editor and formatting.
And and obviously most importantly, get it done. Get the book done.
Right.
But besides that, I would say editor and formatting.
Okay. Now, we talked about the books.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about the life coaching in this sense. How did you get into it? So as a celebrity life coach, how did you get to where you are right now?
You know, I always say our purpose is like a common thread throughout our lives. Okay. And again, I've always been the person people come to for advice. You know what's crazy? The other day on Facebook, I kid you not. Somebody put up on Facebook a letter that I wrote to them in 7th grade. And when I tell you some of the stuff I said in that letter, I still say to this day. It's crazy. And I was like, wow, this person kept that letter, number one. Number two, I'm still saying the same thing. So I just think that I've always been doing it. Okay. Life coaching, whenever I meet a person, I always see the greatness within them, like just naturally. Okay. And I've always desired that for people. So I think that it's just something that's just inherent to me.
So advice for success.
You have to get clear. You have to have clarity.
Okay.
You cannot have success or breakthrough without clarity. And the way that we attain clarity is to deal with what's going on in our lives. So all the thoughts, all the craziness, all the things that worry us, I suggest you start mapping. I suggest that you start putting out, all right, I'm trying to get clear about certain things. What are the things that are boggling my mind? And write it down on paper so you can see what's going on in your mind. So every negative thought, every positive thought, every crazy thought, you don't have to share with anybody because we have some crazy thoughts, but so you can see visually what's going on in your mind and address each thing. And that's how you get to clarity. Clarity always precedes a breakthrough. And then once you get to that point, you can start to articulate what it is that you want. See, a lot of us, we can't really say what we want. A lot of times we know what we don't want. And that's not powerful. Okay. Knowing what you want is powerful. That's attractive. It has attractive abilities to it, attached to it. So you have to know what you want success-wise. You have to define success for yourself. Success for you may be different than success for me.
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there because in my book, Marketing You Be Strategic, I spend a lot of time talking about success and defining success for yourself individually. Right. Because exactly what you said, what looks like success for you could look totally different from me. Right. So I think that's huge, and I'm glad you brought that up. Absolutely.
I think a lot of times we all think that material things are going to bring us happiness. And trust me, I have clients who make lots of money and they were like, I would trade it all in to feel happy or whole or of use. So really it's about defining what that is for you and no judgment. Your success could be to have $10 billion in the bank. That's great. Right. You know, I want that too. But success for me is being who I present myself to be in private. That's success for me. Wow. You know what I mean? So that made, you know what I mean? That's me being successful. But that doesn't mean that that's any less or any more important than yours. If you want, yours is $10 billion in the bank. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But I had to arrive to that place for me. That's what I deem to be successful.
So thank you, Pervis, so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure. And I know that my audience got a lot out of what you shared.
Thank you for having me. Such a joy and honor to be here.
For more information on Pervis Taylor III or to order his books, visit pervistaylor.com/author. My next segment was sent to us by Regina Huber. I met Regina through Cindy Ashton, one of my previous guests. Regina is a transformational leadership coach and trainer, CEO of Transform Your Performance, and a speaker with a passion for dance. Regina helps companies create more powerful female leaders. Let's check out what Regina had to say.
Hi, I'm Regina Huber, and I'm here today on Kimberly's Strategic Minds Show. I'm a transformational leadership coach and trainer, CEO of Transform Your Performance, and a speaker who loves to dance. It is my mission to support women who want to be leaders, because as powerful leaders, we all can make a bigger impact and create more wealth for our companies, our clients, and ourselves. And that's why I created my system, the Powerful Leadership Transformation. It consists of 4 elements: mindset, uniqueness, body consciousness, and action. Today I want to give you a little taste of number 3, body consciousness. In our businesses and careers, we all face challenging situations, whether it's a speaking gig, a sales conversation, a client presentation, a job interview, or a board meeting. All of these situations require that we stand in our power. Today I want to share a technique with you that I call tap into your inner power. Sit or stand in a relaxed position. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and take a couple of deep breaths. Feel your feet grounded on the floor. Now bring up the earth energy through the soles of your feet, through your legs, all the way up to the base of your spine. Then bring the energy up to your solar plexus, your stomach area. This is your personal power center. And I want you to put some special attention here. Really breathe into this power center. Maybe place a hand on it. The breathing and the hand help you focus on your personal power. And what you focus on expands. So allow your personal power to expand. After a while, bring that power all the way up through the top of your head and surround yourself with this power energy. This exercise allows you to show up more powerfully to your meeting or presentation. A client of mine used this exercise recently, and she called me up after her meeting with her boss and the president of the company. And she said, "Regina, I felt so much more powerful and confident after using this tool. And I didn't feel tongue-tied as I usually would when speaking to seniors in my company." Amazing. All we need to be successful is already inside of us. We all have this unlimited power inside of us. We just need to remember to connect to it. Because when you tap into your inner power, we see it in your outer presence. And you can draw your audience and your conversation partners in before you even say a single word. If you would like to receive this tool in writing and more tips and tools in the future, I invite you to go to transformyourperformance.com/presence and sign up for my newsletter. As always, stand in your power.
Thank you, Regina. Regina's system, the Powerful Leadership Transformation, integrates tools that allow you to prepare for challenging situations in your business or career. Regina believes that as powerful leaders, we can all make a bigger impact and create more wealth for our companies, our clients, and ourselves. For more information, visit www.transformyourperformance.com. Our last segment is a really important one. It was provided by Jarvis Richardson. Jarvis and I met via social media after he participated in a webinar I facilitated for the National Urban League. So, who is Jarvis Richardson? Well, Jarvis is an impact coach and a purpose planner. He helps people find passion and purpose while pushing them into their destiny. In addition, he's an advocate for the city of Flint, Michigan, and he's currently working on initiatives to assist those impacted by the Flint water crisis.
Hi, Kimberly and Strategic Minds audience. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show. My name is Jarvis Richardson, and I'm a purpose coach and people investor. So while I have the opportunity, I want to share with you a little bit about the Flint water crisis. The Flint water crisis hits a personal chord with me because I was born and raised in the city of Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is historically known for the 1935 sit-down strike of the United Auto Workers Unions, as well as the birthplace of community education. Flint, Michigan is also the home of a plethora of athletes as well as other talents, from basketball to football players, musical artists, musical producers, as well as authors. Right now, the city of Flint is in dire straits because of the water supply. Through an emergency financial manager rule that is set forth by state government, the water source from Flint was switched from the Detroit River water to the Flint River water. Through corrosive agents being too strong for the pipes in the city of Flint, in the infrastructure, now lead has leached into the water. With lead leaching into the water, it has affected over 9,000 youth by elevating the level of lead in their bloodstream. It has also caused various health concerns in not just youth, but also adults. One young man who was 39 years old was found to have the highest levels of lead in Genesee County, a county of over 120,000 residents. The parts per billion that is unsafe is 5 parts per billion in water. The water in the city of Flint at the lowest level has been known to have 27 parts per billion of lead in the water. Through various opportunities here in western Minnesota and the North Dakota area, I've had the opportunity to share about the Flint water crisis and the issues that it's caused. So much so that on April the 26th of this year, there was a call to action here at UMC to launch a new initiative called #UMC for Flint. I've had the opportunity to work with Colt Mavelty, who is a senior at University of Jamestown, who started and launched a movement called #ND for Flint, where 12 individuals got together on March the 31st and traveled to the area of Flint, Michigan, to deliver over 39,000 bottles of water to Flint City residents. We'll continue these types of efforts, not just delivering water, but also replacing shower head filters, as well as helping to raise funds to install filtration systems in homes. If you would like to be a part of this effort, the Community Foundation of Greater Flint has a fund at their website called www.flintkids.org. This particular fund goes directly in treating the health concerns of youth ages 0 to 19 years of age who have been affected by the lead in the water. This helps with various health concerns that they have. You can also reach out to the United Way of Genesee County, or you can reach out to First Trinity Missionary Baptist Church of Flint, Michigan, where the pastor is Pastor Ezra Tillman. I'm Jarvis Richardson, and I advocate for the city of Flint.
Thank you, Jarvis. We appreciate the information you provided. Jarvis gave you ways that you can help. You can follow Jarvis on Twitter and Periscope. He's JC_MBA_THD. So check him out. I thank you for watching another episode of the Strategic Minds Show. Make sure you join our mailing list at strategicminds.tv and our Facebook group, the Strategic Minds Group. Also, we'll be hosting a free Career Advancement Strategies webinar this month. So check out strategicminds.tv or kfergspeaks.com to register. And if you missed previous episodes, check them out. I have a lot of exciting projects that I'm working on, and I would love to share them with you. So make sure you're following me, Kimberly A. Ferguson, the host with you in mind, at kfergspeaks on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thanks again for watching, and in all you do, be strategic.